Hopeless. All right, welcome back to Legacy Dakota, where we share the stories of innovators rewriting the playbook. So today's guest is Psalm Salazar. She's worn many hats: actress, storyteller, and now tech entrepreneur. Based in Los Angeles, she is leveraging what she's learned in the entertainment world, connecting with audiences, and building a brand to launch AI Psalms, an AI-driven platform that helps health and wellness businesses grow. So I'd love to know, for people that have never heard of you, Psalms, tell us a little bit about your background. I know you've been in television and entertainment. Could you tell us how you got started in that?
Yes, thank you for the lovely introduction. And I am from Texas. I'm from a rural part of Texas, Orange, Texas, to be exact. It's everyone's either a teacher or a cop. You get gas and keep driving. It's not somewhere you want to live.
That makes sense.
Not too much on my hometown, but that is the truth. My dad got me into modeling and acting at a really young age. And unfortunately, after Hurricane, not Katrina, but Rita hit Southeast Texas, we had to move to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so the whole dream of being an actress and stuff was put on hold. And as I got older, I just could never shake off the itch of what if. It wasn't just a phase, it was something I yearned for, something I didn't even know I just yearned for. I've always have. And when I became of age, I was 19. I moved out of my mom's place and I didn't know what I was doing. I had two jobs, working at a pizza joint, and then I
Yeah.
was working at a local bar. Never even been to California. Never been out of Texas. And I got a U-Haul, a big U-Haul with a trailer attached to it. It was I didn't even know how to drive it. I had to have like strangers help me every time I pulled in somewhere because it was so long because my car and from Texas to Cali it's just a straight way. And obviously when you turn into gas stations and stuff, you have to turn and that was a little tricky. But I also brought my dog Clifford, which meant lot to me. He's my baby. And so I moved to Cali and I literally Googled how to become an actress. I had no idea what I was doing.
Nice.
I had no idea. I don't have any friends. There was no networking. I don't have family. Truly from the bottom. There's dirt and then I was starting below dirt.
Wow.
That's just what it was. And so the internet told me to take headshots to get into class and learn how to act. So that's what I did. I did that for years and then um during COVID, I did like little short films, student films, little amateur stuff. And then during COVID, it was quiet and there was nothing happening. When we were coming out of COVID, I had this rare opportunity to audition for a series regular role, which is rare for someone in my position that has no sort of credentials. Like typically a series regular role at a TV show it's a lead role. So if you look on my IMDb and you see nothing, they're not going to want someone like me to be a lead of their show because they want someone with experience. Typically, you want to get like a smaller role, co-star, guest star, something like that. And I guess I have main character energy. And I auditioned for it. I saw what the role was about. I was like, "There's no way in hell I'm getting this," because I watched the show and I didn't think I was going to fit in. And Lord behold, I got it.
Got it.
Yeah, and that changed the trajectory of my life, and so I've filmed 2 seasons with them, and the next season comes out next year. Don't ask me when, I don't know when, I just know it comes out next year, and, yeah, I've just been moving the needle forward slowly. I've been, done some indies, I've done a play, and I'm on a TV show, so that's great.
Yeah, I have never, I mean, I've heard of the show. I've never seen it, never watched it, but I'm kind of excited to kind of see it now that I actually know someone who has had the time to be on it. So I think this would be a great time to watch it. So you're in season one and two.
No, I'm in season 2 and 3.
Season two and three. Okay, cool. So I got to start at season two. I'm gonna skip season one, go straight to season two. That's nice though. I come from a small town too. Well, I grew up in a small town. Even though I was born in Hawaii, I grew up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Not too much
Nice.
out there. Yeah, one of those places that you just kind of keep passing through, right? So definitely get that. LA, I know is and I've lived in Texas as well, Houston, Midtown and Houston. So I love Texas as well. But what kind of inspired you to start something completely new outside of acting? Because, just based on the insights that I've been able to kind of share with you, I know you catch on quickly. But just kind of break that down. What kind of inspired you to start something outside of acting?
The lack of funds. If I'm just being really transparent, like, I didn't wanna make the same mistake I made season 2, which was I made 6 figures, and I thought I was just the best thing since bread. So I thought since I'm on a show, I've made it. And so my expectation was once it comes out, casting projects and be like, "Oh my god, Psalms, we need you, we need you, we need you. You're awesome." Da, 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 da. Well, that just didn't happen. And truth be told, season 2, even though I am one of the main characters, I'm not the main character. The show is not about me. Not that a show needs to be about you to be successful, but I felt like my character's name was Whisper. I felt like I was a very soft introduction. And so there wasn't a lot of depth for me to use as leverage. Like, because we in our careers we have these things called reels, and so it's clips of you acting, and so I didn't have a lot of depth for those to move the needle forward, and I just didn't have a lot of opportunity. So what happened was I didn't work for a whole year and spent my money irresponsibly, and so then when that happened, I was back to square one. I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? And so then I end up going back to working little hustles that I had that are not ideal. And I filmed season 3, and I was like, all right, not gonna let this happen again. I'm going to make sure I put my money into some sort of stocks. I'll do something. I mean, I wasn't a complete idiot. I did start the Airbnb business. I just didn't
Right.
scale enough to live off of just that. So we finished wrapping, and then this year comes along, and I've noticed it's just been very quiet for me. And I was like, okay, I don't want to do what I did last time. What can I do in the meantime so I don't just live off all the money and then it just runs out again? Because the whole thing about what I do is you have to be chosen. And that's really frustrating because your life is in someone else's hands. I don't like that. I finally kind of, yeah, I finally came to the conclusion that I want life to be more in my own hands. And it was really hard, though, I'll be honest, because I felt like if I were to start something else, it meant I was a failure in my niche because there was never been a plan B. It's always just a plan A. But now we live in a world where if you don't have multiple streams of income and you live in major cities and then you're an artist, you're like doomed. Like, for hardship, you know what I mean? I've been out here 8 years. I'm not trying to continue this cycle. I'm just not. And I thought if I could create passive income, I wouldn't be so desperate when roles come in. I need a job, I need this job, I need this job for the money. And maybe I would have a different energy when I audition, and I'll be able to actually afford the studios and the acting schools I want to go to because I have something. So I'm not relying on my art to make me money, even though everybody wants to make money from the art. The reality is the smart ones, even like everyone that we look up to, the people that are celebrities and, you know, the 2% that are working, when they get their success, they leverage that money, they make restaurants, create all these brands. They're selling makeup because everyone knows that it's just contract work. So you need something that's going to bring money in all year round. So instead of thinking, oh, I'm a failure because I doing something else, I'm just thinking, okay, no, I'm just leveraging and my life really.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. Total sense. Now, I'd love to know, how did the LA entertainment environment kind of shape your approach to branding and business?
You know, it's funny because people always say this business is about networking, networking, networking. That hasn't been really my experience. It's truly just me having an important team and getting the opportunity and then doing my best. It's never been through because I knew this casting director, I knew this production company, or it's never been like that. It's been because I really earned it. Like from just auditioning, but it is important to have a certain team. And I learn along the way of like what to look for when you won't have an agent or a manager or a lawyer, or when you should have one, when you should get contracts reviewed. I didn't know a lot of that stuff, so I actually got myself in a pickle. End up having to pay out a lot of people that I for season 3 that you wouldn't even. I mean, like you wouldn't even imagine if I would have had. If I would have known what I know now, I would have got certain things in order to make sure I'm presenting myself as a complete brand. It's just been trial and error. And the most
Yeah.
important thing is just making sure I have thoughts that display my true self. I have reels that show my capacity. I have an IMDb page that is clear and concise. So when I'm being looked up or when I am being pitched, it's presentable to be attractive to casting direction, casting director. And yeah, I've also even pitched myself. I went down the rabbit hole of finding casting directors and just pitching my material out there, because sometimes you got to like take things in your own hands. And it's helped in the sense of me getting some interviews. It didn't necessarily get me signed, but I've got feedback, I guess. So it's really
Absolutely.
important to make sure your material reflects you as an actor and like what you're capable of.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I love
Yeah.
that approach. I love that approach. So just curious, because I feel like, LA has definitely played a big part, but I'd love to know, how do you see, your legacy? What's the impact that you want to leave on the world? And what do you want to kind of be remembered for?
I never got into acting for those reasons. I know that a lot of people, I know inspiration can cause a domino effect. I mean, the reason why I'm an actor is because I saw something on TV and that moved me in such a way that it changed how I'm living my life. Right. So it is important. Like inspiration is why anyone does anything, why anyone creates. But I really got into it because of my upbringing was quite hard. And I thought it's a way to express art and express what I've gone through without like feeling sorry for myself. And because usually in life, when you're vulnerable and authentic, it's not a bod. It's like you need therapy, you need to not be reactive, you need to meditate. Whereas in
Right.
the art form, you get to just unleash and it's, praised. And so it's just really important for me to be my authentic self. And I hope that others see that I'm my authentic self and it got me here. And so they don't have to try to be anything they're not, be weird, be loud, whatever. And also know that they are capable because, again, I didn't come out here with any sort of support. And and I came from a job where it is deemed controversial line of work that I used to do. And I know if people know that, they'll be like, wow, she used to do this and she's doing this. Like it allows people to think like you don't have to be what you've done. Like you can change. And I think that it goes for women and young men because everyone's always inspired from that, what do you call it? The not the lower dog, what do you call it? The underdog.
Underdog, yeah.
Yeah,
Underdog.
the underdog story, because a lot of people come from situations that they don't have a window to climb out of. So I think it's important for people to know my real journey because then they can believe they can also like have that same success. So really, if I were to think about anything I want to leave behind is just encouraging people to explore the capacity they have within themselves and anything they do, whether they want to be an artist, whether they want to, I mean, anything. So, and I think when people see that, it makes them believe they can do it too. And then that's how you change the world, really.
I love that. Authenticity is a big factor. I think people should just be the authentic self, right? And the people that want to rock with you, they'll rock with you. The people that don't, that's cool too. But yeah, that's pretty big. And I love when you said that, That's the type of impact that you want to leave on the planet, right? People should focus on not taking their past experiences and taking that with them, but just using that as rocket fuel to kind of propel you into the direction that you ultimately want to go.
Mhm.
Now, how do you see your creative background kind of helping you in this new venture?
I'll be honest, I don't know. I think the only thing I'm really banging on is so I've always had like a itch for business. Like I've never I'm not just an artist. Like that's another thing. I think people are onions and they can have many layers. You can even though I used to think that was a bad thing, I used to think, no, I'm just an artiste. I want to act and be on the stage because it is true. But you're allowed to, if you can, and if you're capable, be a jack of all trades. If that's something you want to do, you can do. And I do think naturally I am good in hospitality and I am naturally good in sales. Not that I've ever taken a sales course, but I know how to talk to people. So I think that helps. And so I'm just kind of leaning into that side of me and bringing so the authentic self with this. So I don't want to that I'm not gonna lie, one of my fears is, "Oh, now that I'm in this, like, space, do I have to be, like, dull and boring because everyone's kind of vanilla?" But I'm not going to do that, I'm gonna use just being authentic, which to me is creative, I guess, and then and hopefully that people will resonate with that, and I think when people find you personable and they can talk to you easily, it makes them comfortable. And so then maybe then they'll want me on their team because I'm not this like facade.
Yeah, 100%. I think personality is important. I'm personally an introvert. I can get extroverted if I need to. I know how to communicate and articulate when needed. But I'm a
Yeah.
good listener, right? I can kind of sit back and listen. I do some active listening so I can kind of, figure out which direction I want to take things. We work hard, we play hard, right? But at the end of the day, it is business. And, if you want to do business, then of course you got to take some things a little bit more serious than others. But, I'd love to know, what challenges have you faced in pivoting from entertainment to entrepreneurship?
I think the tech aspect of it is something I'm having to really learn. I've never been a tech person. And so I notice I can't keep saying that. I can't keep saying I'm not a tech person because then I'm going to continue not being a tech person. I'm learning a lot of new skills that didn't necessarily use prior. And also, it can be sometimes studious. And so naturally, I have slight ADHD. So it's hard for me sometimes to calm the beast and sit still. So I've noticed that to be, I think the people aspect when I'm talking to people, that's more fun. But when I'm kind of like going through the emails or if I'm watching a lesson, that is a little harder for me because it's like reading. I really do enjoy reading, but if I read, I just naturally, I'll read something in the book and start thinking about something else and then start thinking about something else. So it's learning to like focus on what is at hand and just put all my undivided attention at the task. So.
Gotcha. And right now you're focused on health and wellness, and I know you are helping creative studios and content creators as well. How does your business now help health and wellness professionals with their businesses?
So yes, my business is AI Psalms. Right, I'm the founder of it. AI Psalms Arbitrage Agency, and we. I am just got a little winded just now. It's hot as fuck in my. Sorry, excuse me. We help health and wellness people improve their automations and their business with lead generations, optimizing operations, cutting unnecessary costs, and using AI systems. So we learn their pain points and their bottlenecks, excuse me, not bottlenecks. We figure out how we can implement a system to make their life easier.
I love that. I love that for you. I'm a big AI and automations guy myself, so tech is something I'm pretty natural with. It's kind of like
Yeah.
something that becomes my strong suit a lot of times. And what I feel comes natural for me might be a little bit more difficult for other people. So
Mhm.
kudos on that, man. I'm super excited for you.
you.
Now, many creatives kind of dream of branching out into business. What advice would you give them in making that transition?
I think the main concern that creatives might have, I think most people, but creatives is usually for you to learn something new, like a skill, if you don't already know it, you have to invest in yourself. And I think because creatives usually don't have a lot of money laying around, they may have fear of using it on some sort of loan or credit card to help them. But what I would say is if you don't bet on yourself and you don't use that investment as leverage to learn this knowledge, you're going to be in the exact same place you are next year. So you got to look at it like you invest in yourself to make more money because once you invest in this course or this class, you're going to learn something that's going to allow you to then generate income. So don't have a low vibrational thinking of, "Oh, I don't have the money or I don't want to be in 5, 10 grand debt, depending on the course, whatever." You have to look at it like if you don't, it's not like it's a liability, it's an asset. So you got to look at those kind of investments as assets so you can actually branch out and diversify what you can do.
Gotcha. I mean, Psalms, your story shows us it's very possible to pivot, reinvent, and create impact beyond one industry. A few big takeaways for listeners right now is creativity and technology aren't opposites. They kind of just amplify each other, right? Your network and storytelling skills can fuel your business journey. And, wellness brands can thrive with smarter AI driven systems. I think that's something that you definitely helped to kind of identify on this conversation. I want to thank you for taking us inside of your journey, right? From LA's entertainment scene to building the AI powered business. For those listening, if you ever wondered whether you can reinvent yourself or if your business could grow smarter with AI, I definitely want to recommend that you connect with Psalms. You can find her, where people can find you on LinkedIn, correct?
Yes, AI Psalms. And then my
AI
name is,
Psalms.
yeah. So Psalm Salazar. And then I think then yeah. So Psalm Salazar, really, just my first and last name.
Got you. And if you love this conversation, share it with a friend. Subscribe to Legacy Decoded for more stories about people building boldly. Until next time, chase your calling on and off screen. Psalms, is there anything else you would love to just leave the audience with?
I never thought in a million years I would be doing this. But when you are going through hard times, because hard times will come, don't look at it as giving up. I think you have to just really look at it as pivoting, re strategizing. The goal is still the same. What you want to do is still the same, but how you do it may change, and that's okay. Embrace it and don't think it's like the end of the world and you're never going to do what the initial goal is. Sometimes you have to do a job that you maybe don't necessarily love for a little bit to get the funding you need to do whatever or to get by those quiet seasons. It's not forever. Just remember that.
Love that. Well, this has been another exciting segment of Legacy Dakota. We had the brilliant and beautiful Miss Psalm Salazar on. Super excited for her new venture. And yeah, I'm super excited to check out season 2. So I will catch you guys in the next segment. But yeah, continue to live and build boldly, create the impact and the legacy that you want to see in the world. And see you guys on the next pod. Peace.
Thank you.
So I think